Okay, this next poem is called Searching for Love in the Arctic. April is National Poetry Month, and I've been really enjoying all the different poems people have been sharing, kind of classics from established, beloved poets, and uh, and then just all sorts of people sharing their own kind of inspired scribbles and inspired favorite poems. Uh, I always feel so grateful to have discovered the beautiful thing that writing a poem can be and often is. You know, we need poetry to remind us of what we're all capable of on any given day. We have this whole assortment of things that we can do with our hands and our minds and our voices and our hearts and our bodies. Like if you made a list of all the different things a human being can do of a positive, beneficial, creative, helpful, beautiful nature, that would be one mighty long list. And you know, poems remind us of so many different things, but I think they can remind us that, you know, we too are capable of taking experiences and transforming them into beautiful little columns of words, you know. And that's and there's so much more too that we can all do. I think this kind of big consumerist American culture that we're all kind of scrambling around in kind of can oftentimes be pretty epic in how it fails the potential of the human soul. And you know, these small things called poems, you know, they can often be epically successful in how they activate and bring our attention back to, you know, this potential of the human soul that every single one of us is carrying around inside of ourselves, you know. So I guess there's that, you know. Remember what you got going on, you know. Read a beautiful poem, listen to a beautiful poem, try writing a beautiful poem, you know. Make it 4 lines, make it 4 pages, and then, you know, share it with a friend, you know, share it online, you know. Be brave. Someone out there is going to experience the spirit that you were able to put inside the shining capsule of that worded, finely worded poem, and they're going to be fed by it. They're going to feel something because of it, and they might catch the angelic ladybug of that inspiration that you yourself were kind of powered up by when you pulled out your notebook and got out your pen. And so next thing you know, you might find yourself responsible for in this great for sharing a good bug, we'll say. You know, for sharing something good. So this poem that I'm going to share today, Searching for Love in the Arctic, it came up on my Facebook memories, and those have become kind of fun for me to check out. I guess Facebook just kind of logging such a large record of all of my deep thoughts and shared poems and pictures and such. So I just thought this was a cool poem. It's from a long time ago, kind of, maybe like 9 years ago or something. And maybe I'll read it, and then I'll tell you, as Paul Harvey did back in the, the 80s and 90s of my youth. Then I'll tell you the rest of the story. Searching for love in the Arctic. One restless summer night, Clark told me his latest plan. He was going to apply to work in the kitchen at this remote outpost in the Arctic. The year previous, he'd flown back to Philly for a friend's themed wedding. The groom was Godzilla, the bride was Mothra. The two of them had met while working non-scientific jobs at this same outpost. I think his thinking was, if my friend found love by relocating to the far ends of the earth, then maybe I can too. He said his friend told him that after the plane back to the mainland had left, all the newbies were gathered into the rec room, and everyone watched John Carpenter's The Thing. You know, the movie about a shape-shifting alien slowly killing off all the personnel at a remote outpost in the Arctic? It was a tradition, his friend said, a way to set the mood. Clark's application for the kitchen job was not accepted. It was probably a long shot anyway, we both agreed. Now, Clark's in Seattle and in love with a 52-year-old man he affectionately refers to as Bub. The last time we talked on the phone, I said about something or another, man, we're not just a bunch of wild teenage kids running around Columbus anymore, are we? In a month, I'm going to Seattle to visit him. It'll be the first time I've seen him in person in about 4 years. Maybe the woman I've been looking for my whole life is there, I half-jokingly tell myself. Maybe she's waiting for me, and it'll be on this trip that we finally get to meet. I wrote that poem about 9 years ago, and I ended up taking a Greyhound bus to Seattle, and I went and visited my soul brother, my hometown, longtime brother in Seattle, and hung out with him for about a week. Got to meet Bub, got to watch some horror movies, got to just experience the biggest city I'd ever been to at the time. And then I went back to Nebraska, and a couple years later I wound up moving to Seattle. And Clark was my roommate. And after about a year of living in Seattle with my soul brother Clark, as some of you know, I did end up meeting that woman who I've now been with for, I guess coming up on 5 years. So that poem was kind of a late night hope poem, written at my gas station probably about 3 or 4 in the morning, after the bar rush and before the morning folks started coming in for their coffee and cigarettes. It's kind of me resting deep back in the pocket of my kind of gas station poet life, writing a poem that articulated my heart's hope to meet a partner, to find a woman that I really connected with. And eventually I did. So Don't ever turn your back on your heart's secret hopes, because they're there for a reason. Maybe write a poem about them and let that poem become a prayer. Okay, happy National Poetry Month, everyone. I'll see if I can find another old poem to share before this month is over. Thank you.